Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you're good and safe. This is Early Mornings LALATE with exciting breaking news overnight about a $1.9 trillion offer from the president. This is categorically incredible news because I've been reporting since day one of this channel that the president will likely get a deal at $2 trillion. So will Nancy Pelosi accept the deal on the final day of her 2-day deadline? It's just, I don't know what the rush is with her. She has something to get to later today. What do you got to do later today, Nancy? Insiders tell me she is absolutely pressed for time because tonight she has something to do, but it's not a hair salon appointment. Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you're good and safe. It is early mornings, and the excitement of the early morning is upon us. The toast is toasting, the butter's brewing. I'm here, you're here, and the coffee's brewing. This is a great morning to start the new day. This is part of our 1-hour broadcast with two videos. First, this video and the 3:30 a.m., 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time broadcast. If you're new to early mornings, it's an enhanced experience because you can also live chat with your Purple Power friends on the right. Go to the front on the right, and there's a live chat and also a super chat that occurs while you're watching this as an instant premiere only on Early Mornings LALATE. All right, in this video, I'll be going over a lot of breaking details overnight. First, I'll be going over the deal offer. Could the deal be hatched? And what that deal will look like in the potential of the evening that is upon us tonight. Next, I'll be going over sort of the mixed messaging about Mitch. Boy, it was just so mitchy that I couldn't even cover it on Evenings LA last night on Monday night. Finally, I'll be going over a little bit of Meadows, and he is singularly responsible for us knowing that it's a $1.9 trillion offer. Did not come from Mnuchin, did not come from Pelosi. And I'll have more about him in the next half-hour broadcast as well. All right, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is categorically incredible. A $1.9 trillion offer raised on Monday from the president. It was announced late Monday by Mark Meadows, the chief of staff to Donald Trump. If you tune into the broadcast right after this, you will see that some insiders claim that this is Mark Meadows' final days as chief of staff. More about that a little bit later. But Mark Meadows says the president raised his deal offer to 1.9. Where was he coming from? What number? Well, on Thursday and Friday, only this channel, nowhere else, not even broadcast news, I reported that the president was about at 1.85. The extra 0.5 was coming from testing, tracing, and vaccine additional money that Steve Mnuchin confirmed he had given sometime between Thursday and Friday. He made that announcement on Squawk Box CNBC Friday morning. Well, this is incredibly great news, the fact that we're at 1.9. It's also incredible great news that we're at 1.9 on a Tuesday of a 2-day deadline. And it's also incredible great news that we're at 1.9 exactly today. Why? Let me go over all this right now. First, I've always said that the deal will be hatched at $2 trillion. The reason why $2 trillion is seemed as a logical number is because it's more than the last stimulus package under the Obama administration, double that amount. It's more than the first stimulus package of the CARES Act. And it's certainly, within shooting distance of a $2.2 trillion offer. You saw upwards of about a week ago, and certainly 2.1 million other viewers also saw on CNN's YouTube channel, the reaction that Americans had when Nancy Pelosi was asked by Wolf Blitzer, what is wrong with 1.8? Well, imagine tonight, or to this morning, we're at 1.9, and imagine the reaction tonight, Tuesday night, if we're at 2, and she says, no, thank you. 2, no, thank you. That sort of rhymes. Well, it's that type of rub that's ultimately occurring. Next, why are we heading where we're going on the numbers? And is this a ploy by Trump? It could very well be. If you've watched the last two early morning broadcasts, I detailed Trump's statements to press yesterday and the day before, in which he says, I could literally go exactly to her number. I can even go ahead of her, above her number, and she'll still say no. She doesn't want to give me a deal. This might be ultimately Trump playing a Trump card. He may inevitably go exactly to 2-2 or to 2-0 by the end of Tuesday, this Tuesday, to see if she still says no. And then ultimately say, hey, she's to blame, not me, folks. Now, Nancy Pelosi was already trying to tee up that possibility, which suggests maybe that's what she's trying to do. Yesterday and the day before, she complained about not the numbers, but the language. She says the White House keeps on messing up the language of the bill so that it doesn't help children going hungry. I don't know. I get a stimulus check in my hand. If the amount is fine, I have no problem whether or not the language of the bill for the stimulus check was a problem. I get the stimulus check if it's in my hand. You can write the bill in crayon as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know where she's going with that strange message. Next. It's quite interesting, this whole dynamic about the GOP versus Trump now versus Mnuchin and Meadows. If you did not catch what's really going on, Mark Meadows was asked no less than I think it's almost 7 times on Monday by different interviews throughout the day. What's going to happen if you have an agreement with Pelosi? What's going to happen if you have a deal with Pelosi? Is Mitch going to block it? Well, the final comment, which is what I ended on Evenings LALATE last night with, was that Mark Meadows said that Mitch McConnell told him on Monday that if he has an agreement with Pelosi, that Mitch will take that bill to a vote in the Senate. Not just put it in the Senate, he'll put it to a vote. What's ironic about this remark is that this is contradictory to what even Mark Meadows said earlier in the day. More about that in the video after this one, because it is quite a little strange. Next. Mark Meadows, in describing the $1.9 trillion says, we increased our offer to almost 1.9. The president's willing to give additional money in terms of direct payments. Yes, there's a reason why you stay with me the entire broadcast of early mornings. I leave the best stuff, sometimes to the 10-minute mark. Mark Meadows overnight said that the president has now allocated additional money in terms of direct payments. And that's why it went to 1.9. Ooh, that's very sexy, isn't it? It's very sexy. I don't know how sexy it is. Hopefully it's as sexy as I hope as it is. It's basically saying that the amount for stimulus check, well, at least it's check, is more money. He's giving additional money in terms of direct payments. Now, we've been lied to before, and they sometimes even mess up their words. I meant PPP, I didn't mean direct payments. But here he's saying the president allocated more money for additional direct payments. The question is, one, whether it is more stimulus checks, plural, checks, or whether the check itself will be a single check that is more generous. If you don't know where we are, let me recap. The president is currently at a $1,200 stimulus check for all adults. Doesn't matter if you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, and a $1,000 check for dependents. Excuse me, for children. A $1,000 check for children. Both those benchmarks are more than the Temple of Doom. Now, where could the additional money in terms of direct payments go to? There's a lot of possibilities with that sentence. One is it could mean that the check itself is more. Instead of $1,200, it's $1,500 or it's $2,000. Second, it could mean that there's more people in the household that the check applies to. And I initially said that last night in Evenings LA. Now I think about it, I'm like, that's not how the White House usually thinks. They don't usually think we're going to pay more people in the household. They usually just do things more simplistic, which is, okay, not $1,200, do them $1,500 and say that it was my idea. That's how they sort of talk. So I think that's potentially what's happening. Also, they're providing additional money for PPP and restaurants, hotels, and small businesses. I don't think they need any more money for PPP. The last version of the draft was $350 billion, more money for PPP than anything else, even your stimulus checks. But it's funny, this whole thing about Mitch, which I have to go back to a second ago. I mean, this is why there's an entire video right after this at 6:30 that goes over why Meadows is trying to do a cakewalk and why the president is ultimately trying to figure this out. If Pelosi ever, when asked for comment, a McConnell spokesperson said, look at Mitch's statement over the weekend, which I missed. I didn't miss his statement. I missed this quote, which was, if Speaker Pelosi ever allows the House to reach a bipartisan agreement, the Senate would consider it. Consider it? I don't like that language, Mitch. Consider what? Consider you gone. No. I like Mark's language earlier, which was actually have a vote. I like the firm language instead of, oh, we'll consider it. We'll consider it. Okay, wait, it's been considered. No. Senator McConnell considered yes, no. Sorry. No, I don't like that language. Now, Nancy Pelosi has back with her positive, optimistic, imminent language. Instead of the cord, maybe I should have a poster that says, it's imminent. In the background, just, I never say it's imminent. Do you say it's imminent? I don't use that word. It must be like a San Francisco hair salon word or something. I just don't. Well, she's back using that word. In fact, the word was so hysterically funny on Monday that the Washington Post actually ran an article midday and said, we don't think it's so imminent, the deal, as of Monday. And Wall Street then crashed. It was up until the Washington Post said, I don't think it's so imminent as she says it is. Well, Nancy Pelosi overnight was basically saying we're very optimistic. While there's some encouraging news, much work remains. I'm optimistic. I think we can reach agreement before, and I'm optimistic we can reach an agreement before the election. Now, what about this darn election? Oh, there's that election. Yeah. How about that election? And what would Trump might be doing with this whole thing? A lot of people ask my opinion about the situation, and boy, I do have opinions. So here's my opinion to start the sunny morning when the sun eventually comes up. My opinion is the following. I think that Trump is playing two cards, and I think his first card is to basically say, hey, I'm going to go really high and have her turn me down and just pitch that to the American public. Second, I think that if it's Trump's mind and Trump's mindset, I think he could ultimately formulate a deal with Nancy Pelosi via Steve Mnuchin, but then say, okay, after I get elected, we'll vote. We'll take care of this, but I'm not doing it now because I'm really too busy. Which is basically like, if I get elected, then I'll help myself. But if Joe Biden gets elected, I'll just sort of change my mind. I'll just get too busy to do it. Because why would President Trump do a stimulus package to help Joe Biden? I've never seen a president do a stimulus package to help the next person. It's just not done. It's just, and why would you do it on the 11th hour when you could just say, I have a deal. I saved America. I have a deal. Where's the stimulus check? Well, she held it up too long, so you'll see it after the election. But I have a deal. And where's the vote? Well, we just, we're too busy. We're doing the Supreme Court nominee. I think those things are very possible. Now, executive orders. There's a reason why you stay with me, because executive orders are the most important part of this recording, and they're at the 14-minute mark. The most important thing about executive orders is the incredible timing. It's the absolute incredible timing. Today's Tuesday. Guess exactly the best day that the president should do executive orders in the last 14 days before the election. Tomorrow. Why? Because if Nancy Pelosi slams the door shut on him today by the end of the evening and say, hey, you know what? Thank you for your 2.11199999 offer. It's not 2.0. It's not 2.2. It's 19999. I'm going to reject it like I reject everyone. I've been rejected, and I'm going to reject you. And guess what? At that point, the president says, hey, okay, thank you, Nancy. Tomorrow I'm doing executive orders. And guess what happens the day after? Oh, I go into a presidential debate, and I'll tell America that Nancy Pelosi was singularly responsible for not accepting the last $1 to get me to 2.2, and that's why I'm doing executive orders. MSC, and FPUC. It's that way we sort of think here around these neck of the woods. There are certain times that we have to understand that things make sense. And doing executive order then makes sense after a period of us wondering why it hasn't made executive orders till this time. You had some incredible comments overnight. Let me answer some of them if I can find them in here we go. Gloria Rush. President Trump just called them and have them send out the stimulus checks, stimulus package, MSC for the people. Please, thank you. Patricia O'Neill, start protesting. People, nothing is going to happen. We need to start protesting. Diane, the president needs to do the EO. Lisa, good. What is that? Oh, it's an emoji with a sun over a mountain. How beautiful, Lisa McKenney. I love that emoji. Good emoji to everyone. Happy Monday. And more emojis. Erin Lucy. Hard to find a job to go to my workforce center here in Texas every 2 weeks on 4/14. I'm homeless living in my parents left my rent house in May. It's so hard to live here. Terry Olson. Good morning, LA. I'm here with my eye open and my coffee with my toast is burnt. Oh no, what happened to your toast? Terry Olson. But my butter's buttering. What can I say? You're my AM wake up rocking the truth. Love you. Well, love you back, Terry Olson. Hi, bye. Said, why would Pelosi set a deadline when they've already stated that they don't want a deal after the election? She just made the decision easy for them. I don't know. Her messaging is never consistent because she's never consistent. Nancy Shockley, how are we going to get reoccurring stimulus checks? Anthony Hallman, everyone else thought they would be living in a movie. Patty Weir, it's about time that we get what we need, retroactive checks. Aurora, for some time the rent is $12. Can you imagine catching up over 6 months? Natasha, none of them give a damn. Deb, be bold, be focused, be positive, pray every day in strength, sending much love and light to my Purple Power family. Remember that God is in control. Tammy Gibson, y'all, where are you going with this stuff? I'm so sad. Ferry, good morning. I got my coffee. I'm ready to roll. I tweeted the Wicked Witch and give her my piece of my mind. I love that. Donna, why doesn't Trump do executive orders? Tanya, good morning. We need Purple Power TV show like yesterday on Bring On My Stimulus, my people. Ellie, you got the job done. Good job. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed watching this broadcast and if you've enjoyed chatting with your friends on the ride, then join me for the next broadcast coming up at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is about 10 minutes from now. And also go to the Fun Channel and subscribe because we're getting through this together. We're getting to the finish line and we're almost there. Also, like this video. As always, coming up at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is part 2 of Early Mornings LALATE. And then at 8:30 a.m. every day is Mornings LALATE with a more comprehensive, bigger, bolder, and more delicious broadcast. As always, stay informed, stay focused, and stay LA for more.